There is a coastline where the mangroves guard more danger than the open sea. There is a desert where lions still hunt as they did 1,000 years ago. There is a mountain range so high the leopards that live there are almost never seen. This is India, not one wild place, but many stitched together along a single stretch of earth. To understand India's wildlife, you first have to understand its land. In the north, the Himalayas rise higher than clouds can climb, holding on to snow that never fully leaves. Below them, forests thick with monsoon rain stretch across the center of the country, feeding rivers that will travel 1,000 miles before reaching the sea. To the west, a desert holds on stubbornly, home to animals built to survive on almost nothing. And where the land finally meets the ocean, mangrove forests grow directly out of salt water, swallowing the coastline twice a day. Five ecosystems, one country, and within them, animals that exist nowhere else on Earth. In the Sundarbans, where 3 rivers meet the Bay of Bengal, tigers have learned something no other tiger population has: how to hunt in water. Salt water floods this forest twice a day, and the tigers here move with it, swimming between islands, wading chest deep through mangrove roots, patient enough to wait for a single moment of stillness. This is one of the last places on Earth where tigers and humans still share the same narrow strip of land. Fishermen wear masks on the backs of their heads, an old defense against an animal that prefers to attack from behind. "1,800 kilometers to the west, in the dry forests of Gharial, lives an animal found nowhere else in the wild, the Asiatic lion. Once spread across the Middle East and South Asia, fewer than 1,000 remain, and every single one of them lives here, in this one forest." Unlike their African cousins, Gharial's lions often hunt alone, moving through thinner cover, closer to the villages that share this land. Conservation here has been so effective that the population is finally beginning to spread, cautiously, beyond the forest's official boundary. Further south, along the spine of hills known as the Western Ghats, the forest holds one of Asia's largest elephant populations. They move in matriarchal herds, following corridors their ancestors have used for generations, corridors that now cross highways, farmland, and railway lines. An elephant can remember a migration route for decades. What it cannot always predict is what humans have built across it. Somewhere beneath that same canopy moves a very different kind of resident, the king cobra, the longest venomous snake on Earth. It is one of the only snake species known to build a nest for its eggs and to guard it. In a forest full of predators, it answers to almost none. High in Ladakh, above 4,000 meters, lives one of the most difficult animals on Earth to film, the snow leopard. Built for a place with almost no oxygen and no mercy, it hunts along cliff edges in near silence, its coat matching the rocks so precisely that most people who live here have never seen one. Researchers sometimes wait weeks for a single sighting. For the animal itself, staying unseen is not luck, it is survival. And where the mountains finally give way to plains, the Ganges begins its journey, carrying with it one of the strangest survivors in India's wild, the Gharial, a crocodile with a narrow snout built purely for catching fish, and the Gangetic dolphin, which has lived blind in these muddy waters for millions of years, guided entirely by sound. Neither animal needs to see this river to understand it completely. But every year, for a few months, all of this changes. The monsoon arrives, first as a distant wall of cloud, then as rain that does not stop for days. Dry riverbeds fill within hours, dust turns to green within a week. For India's wildlife, the monsoon is not an interruption. It is the reset button on an entire year, the difference between drought and abundance, scarcity and survival. Every one of these animals is holding on to something the modern world keeps shrinking: space. Room to migrate, to hunt, to raise young without a fence, a road, or a border in the way. India remains one of the only places where tigers, lions, elephants and snow leopards still share the same map. Whether they continue to may depend on how much of that map we're willing to leave wild.